how do you actually determine what to charge for and what to make free, just generally?
Sure.
If you didn't have the metering model, right? I've heard stuff like, people don't want more, they want different or whatever, right? But what does that actually mean in practice to you? 2 minutes.
There's a pretty easy way to tell. The pieces that you write that are going to appeal to a broad audience and you feel like have a chance to spread, you make them free. And then there's also pieces that you write that are sort of like, they're more in the weeds. They're more for people who are already a fan of you. Maybe they have like some really actionable key takeaways that people can use to like improve something about their business life or make a change in their life that's important to them, all that kind of stuff. For like the true nerds and the true fans, you pay well that. And that's pretty simple. I think it's usually fairly easy to tell which kind of article is what. It still is always a little bit painful to paywall stuff. But over time, as you sort of like stack those bricks of a subscription business and you start to get the recurring revenue flywheel going, it's like becomes really, really worthwhile. But that's the basics. It's a fairly simple rule.
All right, Nathan, I want to get your thoughts on Dan's argument. However, I also just want to I'm just going to throw a curveball, throw a wrench right into here, which is that I got to admit, I recently started accepting sponsorships for my free newsletter, and that has been a pretty sweet incremental income stream. Dan, I will take issue with your statement that sponsorships are lumpy. If you don't want lumpy sponsorships, give me a ring. But I think that like it becomes much harder if you have more of a paywalled model to be able to sell that through to sponsors on top of charging people. So Nathan, I want to get your response on just kind of those two, what Dan said about gating content, what's free and what's paid, but also just the kind of sponsorships for free newsletters.
I'm a fan of all of these models, and I think what's interesting and probably what Dan is thinking and wants to jump in with is like these aren't mutually exclusive. You end up with both a free audience and a paid audience. And sometimes people will say like, oh, go paid to remove ads. I don't even think you need to do that. Like, I don't think that removing ads is the thing that someone's paying for. I think it's like they're paying to support your work. So how you position that, how you position that paid newsletter or whatever you're selling, I think really matters. And so in all of these models that we're talking about, you can do a free newsletter that's monetized with ads. You can do a component of that that's a paid newsletter. I actually have a paid newsletter. It has a key difference in that it's a one-time payment for an automated newsletter over 4 months rather than like every week, every year. And you could also do like a paid ongoing newsletter. You could do a course, right? You could, all of these fit together into an ecosystem because there's a fit between you as a creator, your industry, and then also that thing that you want to get out there and teach, the information that is in your head that you want to share with the world has a correct format to it as well, or an ideal format. And so if you want to drip content out over time, a paid email course is a great way to go. If you want to be top of mind every Friday, same topic, same time for everyone, then, maybe a free or paid newsletter where everyone's getting the same message at the same time is really important. Or it might be something you're like, look, this is a deep dive on something entirely different. I'm going to go like record a video course on it and sell that, put it in the library. And so none of these are mutually exclusive.